Welcome to another episode of Dark Dialogue Chat Sessions. I am your host, John.
You went back to that one. And I'm Angela.
I got nothing else. What do you want me to do?
I don't know. I was just expecting hi. How are you? How's it going?
Yeah, that was boring. I edited it last time. I didn't like it, so I figured.
You just said howdy last time.
Yeah, well, I like this one better, I think. I don't know. You might just be stuck with it. We'll see how clever I can become. How's it going tonight?
It's going well. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I got no complaints. Made it to Friday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everything's
I
good.
have a complaint.
What is?
I keep getting shocked.
Wait, you're getting shocked?
Yeah, I'm getting like a shocky pain. Oh, it's weird.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should be, damn it.
So, you ready to jump, slither, crawl, roll, whatever we do into this episode?
Yeah.
Dialogue Shout Chat Sessions?
Figure something out.
All right. So, you ready to start with the strange headline segment?
Always.
Okay, and this one is, I found this, I just couldn't believe it. So, volunteers search for old Civil War planes. A group of well-meaning aviation enthusiasts in rural Iowa announced plans to conduct a county-wide grid search for Civil War-era airplanes, aircraft that inconveniently did not exist. Undeterred by time, history, or basic reality, the volunteers vowed to search farmsteads, abandoned runways, and apparently the concept of linear chronology itself. According to the article, several local citizens joined forces to hunt for, quote, old Civil War era airplanes, with the goal of recovering, restoring, and donating them to the National Aeronautics Museum in Cleveport, South Carolina. Leading the charge was Jonathan Starkey of Scranton, Iowa, a member of the Retired Pilots Guild for nearly 40 years, a group that, up until now, had focused on aircraft from eras that actually featured airplanes. Starkey explained that the group planned to dig around old farmsteads and abandoned runway sites, which raises two immediate questions. Well, number one, why would Civil War aircraft be located near runways that wouldn't exist for another 40 to 50 years? And two, how deep exactly does one have to dig to reach 1863 aviation technology? Their methodology was ambitious. Starkey announced plans for a grid search of the entire Greene County area, stating confidently that this was the only way to leave no stone unturned, or, as the article helpfully notes, no plane either. Even more impressively, Starkey hoped to eventually expand the search to every state in the Union, presumably turning the Retired Pilots Guild into a nationwide scavenger hunt for things that history insists were never there in the first place.
How bored are they?
The article does acknowledge a small snag. Quote, almost no one alive today has ever seen an aircraft that old. End quote. Starkey added helpfully, including myself. Still, optimism reigned. The Guild had previously located a restored Korean War, World War II, and World War I aircraft, which likely reinforced their confidence that the next logical step backward in time would involve biplanes, then kites, then thoughts and prayers. Despite slowing down a step or two with age and admitting their memory might not be what it used to be, the group remained confident that they'd recognize a Civil War airplane if they saw one, presumably because it would be on fire, made of wood, powered by steam, or parked next to a Confederate hot air balloon.
I was going to say that.
The public was encouraged to contact Starkey if they had knowledge of Civil War aircraft, preferably ones used in battle, which suggests that somewhere in Iowa, someone briefly wondered if Grandpa's barn contained a secret hangar from the Battle of Gettysburg. My take? This is what happens when enthusiasm outruns the History Channel. I love the idea that these folks just woke up one day and said, You know what history got wrong? The sky.
You know
The
what we're
Civil
missing?
War absolutely had planes, and we're going to find them. Somewhere between the Korean War and the invention of aviation, they just kept walking backward and nobody stopped them. Also, let's talk about the confidence, not if we find them, when. And not maybe in one state, every state in the Union. That's optimism.
Single one.
That's the kind of faith usually reserved for cult leaders and people who think their lost keys are definitely in the freezer. And I genuinely respect the line, "We still know what a plane looks like when we see one." Sir, with respect, no one alive knows what a Civil War plane looks like, because if they did, every history textbook on Earth would be on fire. This isn't a search party. It's a live action comedy misunderstanding of time. So, at what point in the planning meeting did no one say, "Hey, quick question, when were airplanes invented?"
Right. To the Google.
I mean, it's impressive to me that there is actually a Civil War submarine, but
Yeah.
Civil War airplanes? That's a whole new one for me.
I'm a little salty I was beaten to the hot air balloon because I
I'm sorry.
had it keyed up and was ready.
I am so sorry.
How dare.
So if they had found a Civil War plane, who gets the call first? The Smithsonian historians or the X-Files?
X-Files.
I think the X-Files too.
Get Mulder and Scully out there.
So what's more impressive, the confidence to search every state in the Union or the restraint to stop short of checking the moon?
The restraint.
You think
The
it's
restraint from the moon, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you ready for our conspiracy corner?
Yes. Is it that planes existed in the Civil War?
Frozen was a cover-up.
Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Oh, crap. Are we going to get copyright for that?
Probably. For decades, a bizarre rumor has floated around pop culture like an unkillable snowflake that Walt Disney had himself cryogenically frozen after his death in 1966.
Oh, man.
While there's zero evidence to support it, conspiracy-minded fans believe Disney's 2013 mega hit Frozen wasn't just a fairy tale adaptation, it was a calculated SEO nuke designed to bury the rumor forever under a mountain of animated snowmen. When Walt Disney died on November the 15th, 1966, the rumor mill immediately kicked into gear. Somewhere between grief, mystery, and America's fascination with science fiction, the idea emerged that Walt hadn't really died. He'd simply been frozen, waiting patiently to be thawed out once science caught up. There is no documentation supporting this. Walt Disney was in fact cremated. His remains were interred at Forest Lake Memorial Park. Disney historians, family members, and the company itself have repeatedly debunked the claim, and yet the rumor refuses to die. Like a Disney villain, it keeps falling off cliffs and coming back in the sequel. Enter Frozen. In 2013, Disney released an animated film loosely based on Hans Christian Andersen's The Snow Queen. Traditionally, Disney titles stick close to their source material. Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, The Little Mermaid, Pinocchio. So the question conspiracy theorists love to ask is, why not call it The Snow Queen? Instead,
Anna.
Disney chose Frozen, a word already heavily associated with the long-running Walt Disney Cryogenics rumor. Coincidence? Or a masterclass in brand reputation management? According to the theory, Disney knew that as long as people Googled Disney Frozen, they'd keep stumbling into articles speculating about Walt's icy afterlife. So the solution was simple. Flood the internet with so much Frozen-related content, Elsa, Anna, Olaf, songs, merch, theme park rides, sequels, that the conspiracy would be algorithmically buried forever. And it worked. Try searching Disney Frozen today and you'll get singing princesses, a snowman with abandonment issues, approximately 8,000 versions of Let It Go. What you won't get pages of speculative articles about cryogenics. Whether intentional or accidental, the effect was the same. The rumor vanished beneath a billion-dollar avalanche of animated content.
8001 now, because I just sang it for you too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My take? Look, I don't believe Walt Disney is sitting under the park waiting to be defrosted like a corporate popsicle. But I do believe Disney understands branding, optics, and search engines better than almost any company on earth.
Yep.
If you told me Disney accidentally solved a decades-old conspiracy rumor by releasing the most aggressively marketable movie of all time, yeah, that tracks. Also, let's be honest, if Walt had frozen himself, do we really think Disney would let him come back? That man would wake up, look at the live-action remakes, and immediately demand to be refrozen. Whether this was a deliberate move or a happy accident, Frozen didn't just dominate pop culture, it cryogenically sealed a conspiracy rumor in digital ice. And honestly, that's kind of impressive.
Yeah.
So was Frozen a calculated SEO strategy or just the luckiest coincidence in internet history?
The luckiest coincidence.
I think so too, and I don't think Disney executives give two shits if people think Walt Disney were frozen or not. What difference does it make to them? If people are searching Disney stuff, all the better.
Exactly. They're still going to the places.
Yeah.
Tammy's still going. You know, Tammy's still going.
Well, Tammy's in prison, but Tammy would be going if she was out.
Mentally, she's going.
Yeah, she's probably mentally going. If Walt Disney had been frozen, what year do you think he'd be most horrified to wake up in?
Now.
I think now or anytime after. I mean, honestly, you know how I feel about Disney. Mm-hmm. And for the listeners that haven't listened to the Heather Elvis episode, listen to it. You'll understand.
John loves Disney. But dripping with sarcasm.
Walt Disney would be horrified at what has happened to his company.
Yes, he would.
I mean, he was not all about getting into politics and all this shit. He was about producing really wholesome shows for kids.
Mm-hmm.
And his company has destroyed his image, in my opinion. So what's more powerful, cryogenic science or Disney's marketing department?
Disney's marketing department.
100%. All right, so you ready for the Reddit rabbit hole?
Always. What are they doing?
The Great Glitter Mystery. What started as a throwaway quote from a New Jersey glitter manufacturer exploded into one of Reddit's most enduring modern mysteries. Who is buying an absolutely unholy amount of glitter, and why won't they admit it? The answer,
it's me,
according to the internet, ranges from secret military tech to luxury boats quietly shimmering in the sun like billion-dollar disco balls. The mystery traces back to a New York Times interview with a representative from Meadowbrook Inventions Incorporated, often linked or confused with GlitterX, one of the world's largest glitter producers, founded in 1963 and based in New Jersey. When asked a simple question, who is your biggest client, the representative dropped a conversational hand grenade. I'm sorry, I can't tell you. They don't want anybody to know it's glitter. That single sentence ignited Reddit. The manufacturer explained that their top client buys enormous quantities of glitter, but not the arts and crafts kindergarten spill variety. This glitter isn't obviously sparkly. It's ultra-fine, subtle, industrial grade, and almost unrecognizable as glitter to the naked eye. Naturally, Reddit lost its mind. Threads on r Unsolved Mysteries, r Ask Reddit, and beyond spun into thousands of comments as users began connecting dots, squinting at paint jobs, and questioning every shiny surface they'd ever seen. Early theories included cosmetic companies secretly dusting the world in shimmer while pretending they don't. Packaging manufacturers embedding glitter into plastics and coatings. The U.S. military allegedly using glitter in radar jamming chaff. Because nothing says national defense like airborne sparkle, But as podcasts like Endless Thread dug deeper, one explanation kept resurfacing with boring, devastating consistency: boats and cars. The prevailing theory, now widely accepted, is that the automotive and marine industries are the mystery client. High-end car paints and luxury boat finishes rely on massive quantities of microglitter to achieve metallic depth, pearlescence, and that subtle, expensive glow that screams money without screaming art supply aisle. Why the secrecy? Because no luxury brand wants to tell its customers that their $200,000 speedboat looks amazing thanks to the same core ingredient used in preschool posters and stripper hills. My take? This is my favorite kind of Reddit mystery because it starts with, what are they hiding? And it ends with, oh, boats. The idea that the military was out there aggressively weaponizing glitter is incredible, though. Somewhere in the Pentagon meeting room, gentlemen, we must deploy the sparkle. But honestly, the real conspiracy is branding. Rich people don't want to hear the word glitter. They want metallic flake, pearlized coating, proprietary finish technology. Same sparkle, better marketing. So next time you see a luxury yacht glinting in the sun, just remember, that's not elegance, it's industrial strength glitter doing its job in silence. So if luxury brands admitted they use glitter, would it actually hurt their sales or would people lean into it?
I can't imagine it's going to hurt the sales. That's appalling to me, I think.
I think it probably really comes down to what's the word I'm trying to say?
I don't know.
Proprietary formulas. Where they don't want people to know what shit they're putting in their paint or whatever to make it sparkly. So
it's always glitter.
It just blows my mind, the shit that these people get all worked up about.
Yeah.
It's very comical. So
it's very comical.
What's funnier, the military glitter theory or the idea that boats are just floating craft projects?
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I just pictured Leonardo DiCaprio and his floating art project.
I'm on top of the world. So what everyday object do you suspect is now secretly 30% glitter?
Me.
You?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that a fact?
I am 30%. I'm more than 30% glitter.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you ready for the Dipshit's Diaries?
Yes.
Dipshit Diaries.
An Arizona man managed to combine drunk driving, a single vehicle crash, and a deeply personal relationship with a can of White Claw, all in one police encounter. When deputies arrived, they found the suspect allegedly DUI with his finger fully stuck inside the can, insisting he was totally perfect.
Totally perfect.
According to the Yavapai County Sheriff's Office, the incident unfolded on Iron Springs Road, where a deputy observed a vehicle swerving erratically before running off the road, striking a guardrail and blocking traffic at a bridge. Not exactly subtle behavior for someone hoping to avoid police attention. When the deputy approached the vehicle, the driver, whose name was not released, was discovered to be the only occupant, which is good because it limits the number of people who could witness what happened next. The deputy immediately noticed something unusual about the driver's right hand. Specifically, one finger was stuck inside a White Claw can like the world's worst magic trick. Deputy, what you got on your finger there? Driver, White Claw? So what's going on? You okay? I'm totally perfect. And if there's one thing law enforcement loves to hear during a DUI stop, it's someone confidently declaring that they're totally perfect while fused to a hard seltzer. Authorities arrested the driver at the scene. The sheriff's office later confirmed he was facing an impressive and escalating list of charges, including DUI slightest, DUI, extreme DUI, super extreme DUI, endangerment, criminal damage against Yavapai County Public Works. Yes, Super extreme DUI is a real charge, and no, it does not come with a cape and theme music, even though it sounds like boss level. Deputies later stated it was very fortunate that no one was hurt or killed, which is the polite law enforcement way of saying this could have gone catastrophically wrong because a grown adult decided to merge alcohol, vehicles, and finger-based can storage. My take? This man didn't just drink and drive. He committed to the bit. You've heard of holding on to your drink for dear life? This guy said, no, we become one. That White Claw wasn't a beverage. It was a lifestyle choice, a hand accessory, a cry for help. Also, let's talk about confidence. Crashed into a guardrail, roadblock, fingers stuck in aluminum, facing super extreme DUI, and he still says, I'm totally perfect. Sir, you are legally, spiritually, and physically not perfect. And I love that Arizona doesn't mess around. Not just DUI, extreme, not just extreme, super extreme. That's not a charge. That's a judgment. If your BAC is so high that the state adds adjectives, it might be time to rethink your relationship with hard seltzer and with bridges. So at what point does a drink stop being a drink and become a hostage situation?
I'd say a few points before that.
I would say so too.
Yeah.
And when you watch the video, it's hilarious because it's just like stuck to his finger and the cop's like, what you got there?
Nothing.
Kind of White Claw? No, the guy is totally trashed.
Oh.
And when I say it like,
hey, little buddy.
When I say it like that, I mean, that's exactly how he sounds. He's like, I'm absolutely perfect.
I'm absolutely perfect.
So
I've never been better.
How drunk do you have to be before you forget the cans have openings?
So much more drunk than I've ever been in my life.
And I've never heard of this before, but is super extreme DUI the final form, or is there like a mega ultra DUI that we haven't unlocked yet?
Well, Megalodon. So I'm going to go with Mega. Mega's got to be better.
I have never heard.
You have to have the whole damn six-pack.
That was a real thing. Super extreme DUI.
And I'm pissed about the cape thing because I was going to bring that up too.
Did you hear about the cool shit that Utah just did? Love this law. Every state needs this law. It's brilliant.
Oh, they need to do something.
If you get busted in Utah for like, I don't know what the criteria is, but if you repeatedly get busted for DUI, you have to get on your driver's license, it says, do not sell alcohol. And if a bar sells that person alcohol, they can be charged just like they sold to a minor.
Wow.
Isn't that freaking brilliant?
I kind of dig that.
I love it.
Yeah.
Because it's like you put this stupid little interlock in their car or whatever, they can get somebody else to blow into it and all that.
Just drive a different vehicle.
Whatever the case may be. But like, it's already the law that they have to card everybody.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
you're still going to get it from other people.
Well, of course, but it significantly limits the availability.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant. I love it. So anyway, you ready for the next dipshit diaries?
Yes.
Former bank robber and memoir author arrested in Denver robbery. A Colorado man who previously served time for bank robbery and later wrote a memoir about the exact criminal career has reportedly returned to his old hobby. Charles Martinez, author of, quote, The Life of an Outlaw.
You're going to ruin my joke in this one too. I can feel it.
Was arrested by the FBI for allegedly robbing a Denver U.S. bank, proving once again that writing about your crimes does not count as rehabilitation. According to the FBI and reporting from 9 News, Charles Martinez, 48, was arrested on January 8th, days after authorities say that he robbed a U.S. bank located on Colorado Boulevard and East 7th Avenue in Denver. Surveillance footage reportedly shows Martinez entering the bank, demanding money from a teller, and then fleeing east from the scene. No elaborate disguises, no ironic twists, just a straight-up old-school bank robbery. Like it was 1999 again. which is fitting because court records confirm that Martinez pleaded guilty to 5 bank robberies in 1999, earning himself federal prison time and deep ties to prison gangs. Experiences that he later turned into a 2018 memoir, The Life of an Outlaw. The book details his past as a bank robber, his incarceration, and his life inside prison gang culture. One might assume that this would serve as a cautionary tale, a don't do what I did moment. Instead, prosecutors now appear to be adding a sequel chapter, one written entirely in court filings. As of this publication, federal charges in the new case are still pending, but the FBI confirmed Martinez's arrest and connection to the robbery. This wasn't a man hiding his past. This was a man who literally published it, marketed it, and then seemingly decided to revisit the source material. My take? This is less crime and more brand consistency. You can't write a memoir called The Life of an Outlaw and then act surprised when the universe says, cool, let's do a follow-up. I also love the confidence here. Most people worry their past might catch up to them. This guy printed it, bound it, and sold it on Amazon, and then went right back to robbing banks like he was chasing a nostalgic reboot. Hollywood calls this staying true to the character. The FBI calls it probable cause. Honestly, if you're going to relapse into crime, bank robbery is the least subtle option imaginable. Cameras everywhere, federal jurisdiction, and tellers who've absolutely seen this movie before. This isn't a criminal mastermind. This is a man who mistook memoir for permission slip. So, should memoirs about past crimes come with a legally binding, please don't do this again clause?
Yes, don't do this at home. Yes.
Yes. So did I steal your joke?
A little bit. I was just saying he was fueling the sequel, but then I was going to title it The Super Life of an Outlaw.
Well, there you go. See?
The super extreme.
The super extreme life of an outlaw. So at what point does telling your story become providing evidence for future prosecution?
I'd say he hit it.
Yeah,
right in the head.
Pretty much nailed it, yeah. So what's the worst sequel title? The Life of an Outlaw 2 or How I Immediately Went Back to Prison?
The Life of an Outlaw 2. But I think the Super Extreme Outlaws.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
I think I like that one. Yeah. That's a pretty good one. All right, you ready for the next dipshit's diary?
Yes.
Ohio man charged after mistakenly sending meth through the bank drive-thru.
Oh, I bet he was so pissed.
An Ohio man managed to confuse his drugs with his banking paperwork and accidentally sent a bag of methamphetamine through a bank drive-thru tube, alerting staff, deputies, and a canine unit to his criminal enterprise in the most polite, automated way possible. What were you going to say?
I was going to say he needed to buy a vowel. He mistook meth for math.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
According to Monroe County Sheriff's Office, 46-year-old Jason Smith visited a bank in Woodsfield, Ohio, a small community tucked into the southeastern corner of the state on December 3rd. At some point during what should have been a routine drive-thru banking transaction, Smith placed the wrong item in the pneumatic air tube. Instead of cash, checks, or deposit slips, bank employees received a small baggie containing a crystal-like substance that immediately raised concerns.
Damn it, Heisenberg.
Deposits are not supposed to sparkle. Bank staff contacted law enforcement who arrived to investigate why someone had just attempted to open a savings account for methamphetamine. Deputies quickly identified Smith as the sender. According to police, the drug transfer was accidental, suggesting that Smith's organizational system for money and narcotics was deeply flawed. A canine unit was deployed and promptly discovered additional drugs and drug-related items inside Smith's truck because once you've mailed meth directly to a financial institution, subtlety is no longer an option. Smith was arrested at the scene and booked into the Monroe County Jail, where he now faces multiple drug-related charges. Officials noted that no further information was immediately available, likely because everyone involved was still trying to process what had just happened. My take? I need you to understand how hard it is to accidentally send drugs through a pneumatic tube. This isn't like dropping something on the floor. This requires intention, placement, and pressing a button labeled send. At no point did his brain go, hey, Why does my deposit smell like a felony? Also, imagine being the bank teller. You're expecting a check, and instead you receive meth delivered on March 3rd. That's not customer service. That's evidence collection. And I love that it was described as a mistake. Sir, you didn't miscount your cash. You mailed contraband to a federally insured institution. That canine didn't even need to try. The universe had already done most of the work. This isn't criminal genius. This is a criminal clerical error. So, how disorganized do you have to be to confuse drugs with banking materials?
So disorganized. But that's where some of the glitter probably comes in.
He was probably high on meth. I mean,
yes.
I don't even know how this happens. But you ever watch that Court Cam show?
Sometimes.
It's pretty good. Anyway, there's one where this guy's like standing there getting ready to go up and stand before the judge, and he like moves his arm and a bag of Coke or something falls out onto the floor. And it's like, really?
Man.
You got to take drugs with you into court?
Emotional support drugs.
Yeah. So what's the proper bank form for accidentally sent meth through the tube?
I don't know, but I would like to know how much FDIC insures meth for.
Yeah, well, I think it's in years, not in dollars. So is this the worst use of drive-thrus since ordering McNuggets at the pharmacy?
Yes.
I think so too.
And Taco Bell with an ambulance.
There you go. Yeah. So you ready for the weird
It's like right in between
segment?
there. Yes.
Weird shit.
The Circleville Writer. For decades, an unknown individual, or possibly several, terrorized the town of Circleville, Ohio with anonymous letters packed with personal secrets, threats, and eerie foreknowledge. The harassment escalated into a suspicious death, an attempted murder via booby trap, and a conviction that many still believe was wrong. The letters didn't stop, even when the accused was behind bars. The nightmare began in 1976 when residents of Circleville started receiving anonymous letters containing intimate, accurate details about their lives. The most targeted victim was Mary Gillespie, a local school bus driver. The letters accused her of having an affair with the school superintendent and warned that the writer was watching her house and knew she had children. The letters were postmarked Columbus, Ohio, always without a return address. Within days, Mary received more letters. Then her husband, Ron Gillespie, received one, explicitly threatening his life if the alleged affair didn't stop. The writer soon escalated, threatening to expose the affair publicly through TV broadcasts, CB radios, and billboards. Only a handful of people knew about the letters. Ron's sister, her husband, Paul Freshauer, and Paul's sister. At Mary's urging, Paul wrote letters to a suspected sender claiming they knew who was responsible. The letters stopped, briefly. On August 19, 1977, Ron received a phone call believed to be from the writer. Shaken, he grabbed a gun and left it in his pickup truck, despite the caller claiming to be watching him. Minutes later, Ron was found dead after crashing into a tree. Evidence showed that he had fired at least one shot before the crash. Sheriff Dwight Radcliffe ruled the death an accident, citing a .16 blood alcohol level, though family and friends disputed that Ron was a heavy drinker. Then the letters resumed, now accusing the sheriff of a cover-up. Years later, in February of 1983, the harassment turned lethal. Along Mary's bus route, threatening signs began appearing. When she attempted to tear one down, she discovered a booby trap, a box rigged with a small pistol that would have fired if the sign had been pulled the wrong way. The serial number was partially filed off, but investigators restored it and traced the gun to Paul Freshauer, who claimed that it had been stolen. Paul was arrested, subjected to handwriting tests, and charged with attempted murder. At trial, a handwriting expert testified that Paul was the letter writer. Mary testified she believed he was responsible. Paul was convicted and sentenced to 7 to 24 years. Here's where the case goes off the rails. While Paul was incarcerated, sometimes in solitary confinement, new Circleville letters continued to arrive, still postmarked from Columbus. Paul even received letters himself while he was in prison.
Oh my.
Despite this, the letters were used to deny him parole in 1990. He was finally released in 1994, maintaining his innocence until his death in 2012. Journalist Martin Yant later uncovered evidence suggesting multiple letter writers. One suspect was allegedly the son of the superintendent. Another was a co-worker infatuated with Mary. A third was Paul's ex-wife, Ron's sister. On the day the booby trap was discovered, another bus driver reported seeing a suspicious man near a yellow El Camino, a description that did not match Paul but did match a relative of the ex-wife's boyfriend. During filming of Unsolved Mysteries, the show itself received a postcard from the writer.
Jeez.
Quote, "Forget Circleville, Ohio. If you come to Ohio, you sickos will pay." In 2021, 48 Hours featured forensic handwriting expert Beverly East, who concluded Fresh Hour was the writer, though how letters continued during his incarceration remains unanswered. An accomplice has never been proven. The Circleville Writer has never been officially identified. My take? This case is terrifying because it's not about ghosts or monsters. It's about someone who knew everything. The writer didn't guess. They knew. Schedules, relationships, routes, weak points. And the letters weren't just harassment. They were control. Psychological warfare delivered by stamp. The most disturbing part isn't the mystery of who wrote the letters. It's that the system looked at the letters arriving from outside prison and still said, yeah, we're comfortable with this conviction.
Yeah.
Either Paul Freshour was a criminal mastermind orchestrating mail from beyond solitary confinement, or Circleville locked up the wrong man and let the real terror continue unchecked. And when Unsolved Mysteries gets a letter telling them to stay away, that's not a coincidence. That's confidence.
Yeah. That's creepy.
Yeah. How do letters keep arriving when the accused is in solitary confinement? And why wasn't that enough to reopen the case?
I need to know.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I need to know.
I mean, you think that it would have at least deserved like a revisit.
Yeah.
Or
especially when they said there was no evidence of somebody going with him, because that's the only way to do it back then.
Yeah.
Well, it's the only way to do it now, I guess, too.
So is the scariest possibility one writer or several people quietly coordinating?
Several people cahooting.
But I think that's also the most unlikely. Like, you know how impossible it is?
For everybody to keep that kind of a secret that long, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the thing says, like, two people can keep a secret if one's dead. Like,
yeah.
Come on. I think they got the wrong guy. I think the actual writer went free.
Yeah.
If the Circleville Writer were alive today, maybe they are, would they be sending letters or running anonymous accounts online?
Online.
Probably
They probably are.
Probably so.
They probably are.
Yep. All right, you ready for the next one?
Yes.
The Flatwoods Monster.
Ooh, cryptid time.
Have you heard about this?
Nope.
In 1952, a bright light streaked across the skies of West Virginia, followed by reports of a towering, red-faced humanoid creature lurking in the woods near Flatwoods. Dubbed the Flatwoods Monster, the encounter ignited nationwide panic, UFO speculation, and decades of folklore. Skeptics later suggested the terrifying figure may have been nothing more than a startled barn owl, but Flatwoods leaned into the legend anyway. On the night of September 12, 1952, at around 7:15 p.m., two brothers, Edward and Fred May, and their friend Tommy Heyer, reported seeing a bright object streak across the sky and seemingly land on the property of a local farmer, G. Bailey Fisher, in Braxton County, West Virginia. They rushed home and told Edward and Fred's mother, Kathleen May. Rather than dismissing it, she gathered a small group to investigate. The boys, neighborhood kids, Neil Nunley and Ronnie Shaver, and her cousin Eugene Lemon, a member of the West Virginia National Guard. As the group reached the top of a nearby hill, Nunley claimed they saw a pulsing red light. Lemon shined his flashlight towards it, and what he reportedly saw sent the group into a panic. A tall, man-like figure with a round, glowing red face surrounded by a pointed, hood-like shape. Descriptions vary, but UFO writer Gray Barker, reporting for Fate magazine, described the creature as roughly 10 feet tall with a blood-red face, greenish-orange glowing eyes, a dark green or black body, a pleated skirt-like lower half. Kathleen May described it differently, saying the head looked like an ace of spades, with small claw-like hands and what appeared to be folds of clothing. When the creature allegedly let out a hissing sound and seemed to glide through the group, Lemon dropped his flashlight and everyone ran. Several witnesses later claimed they smelled a pungent mist and experienced nausea. When the local sheriff and deputy investigated, however, they found nothing. No creature, no smell, no crash. The next day, newspaper editor A. Lee Stewart Jr. reported finding supposed skid marks and a strange gummy residue in the field. UFO enthusiasts launched onto this as evidence of a landed spacecraft. The story exploded nationally, ranking 11th in news stories that year, drawing reporters, ministers, and paranormal investigators to Flatwoods. Decades later, investigators like Joe Nickel of the Committee for Skeptical Inquiry proposed a much less glamorous explanation. The bright light was likely a meteor, confirmed to have been seen across 3 states that night. The pulsing red light likely came from aircraft hazard beacons. The monster strongly resembled a barn owl perched in a tree, illuminated by a flashlight. According to Nickel, the owl's wide face, glowing eyes, hissing sound, and outstretched talons, combined with shadows and foliage, could easily appear humanoid to frightened observers already on edge. Even the nausea reported by witnesses was later attributed to stress, hysteria, and overexertion. But by then, it was too late. My take? Look, I don't care how many scientists say this was an owl. If I was a kid in 1952 walking in the woods at night chasing a meteor and suddenly a 10-foot red-faced spade-headed thing hisses at you, your brain is not calmly whispering, "Oh yes, stringiformis." Also, owl theory just makes this funnier. Somewhere out there is the most famous barn owl in American history, completely unaware that it traumatized a town, inspired a museum, and became a cryptid mascot. And let's give Flatwoods credit. Most towns get embarrassed by weird legends. Flatwoods said, nope, chairs, museums, stickers, convention, that's how you monetize fear. Whether it was an alien, a monster, or the angriest owl on record, Braxy lives forever. So if a barn owl traumatized an entire town, shouldn't it get its own plaque?
Yes. How is it missing the plaque?
I mean, but how is that thing an owl?
I don't know. Like, well, from here, it looks like the Queen of Hearts. My brain started singing, "I'm painting the roses red, I'm painting the roses red."
I just don't know. I don't know.
But yes, as soon as it hisses, nope.
So would the Flatwoods monster still be famous today or just go viral on TikTok for 48 hours?
TikTok.
I agree. And everybody be like, oh, it's AI.
Yeah.
It's AI bullshit.
Oh man, AI is just unruly right now.
At what point does a mistaken identity officially become folklore? I'd say when it ranks like the 11th biggest story of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would do it. All right, you ready for the next one?
Yes.
This one's interesting. The Pig War of 1859.
They dropping pigs like they were dropping cats?
In 1859, the United States and Great Britain came dangerously close to war, not over ideology, territory, or imperial ambition, but over one pig that ate the wrong potatoes. The conflict escalated into a full military standoff involving warships, cannons, and thousands of troops.
Wow.
And resulted in exactly 0 human casualties. The only confirmed fatality was the pig. The roots of the pig war stretch back to the Oregon Treaty of 1846, which attempted to draw a clean border between British and American territory along the 49th parallel, then promptly ruined everything by vaguely referring to the middle of the channel near Vancouver Island. Problem? There were two channels. Haro Strait west of the San Juan Islands and Rosario Strait east of the islands. Both sides picked the one that benefited them the most, and nobody could agree. As a result, both the United States and Britain claimed the San Juan Islands, a strategically important cluster of land controlling access between major waterways. By the late 1850s, the Hudson Bay Company was running a sheep ranch on San Juan Island. American settlers began moving in under U.S. land claims. Everyone politely coexisted until June 15, 1859. That's when American farmer Lyman Cutler discovered a pig rooting through his garden and eating his potatoes. Tired of the repeated incursions, Cutler did what any calm, reasonable adult would do in an international boundary dispute. He shot the pig. Unfortunately, the pig belonged to Charles Griffin, an Irish employee of the Hudson Bay Company. Cutler offered $10 in compensation. Griffin demanded $100. Cutler refused, arguing the pig was trespassing. Allegedly, the exchange went, "It was eating my potatoes. It is up to you to keep your potatoes out of my pig." Diplomacy failed. British authorities threatened to arrest Cutler. American settlers demanded military protection, and suddenly the fate of entire empires rested on a pig with poor impulse control. The U.S. Army sent Captain George Pickett, yes, that Pickett, along with 66 soldiers to prevent British landings. Britain responded with Royal Navy warships. Within weeks, 461 American troops, 14 cannons, 5 British warships, over 2,000 British sailors and Marines all aimed at each other over a pig. At one point, Pickett declared he would make a bunker hill out of it.
Jeez.
Cooler heads prevailed when British Rear Admiral Robert Baines refused to fire, famously stating he would not start a war between two great nations over a squabble about a pig. Eventually, Washington and London realized how insane this had become and agreed to joint military occupation of the island, 100 troops per side for 12 years. During that time, British and American soldiers celebrated holidays together, held athletic competitions, drank enormous amounts of alcohol, and did not shoot each other. In 1872, international arbitration handled by Germany's Kaiser Wilhelm I, of all people, finally awarded the island to the United States. British forces withdrew peacefully. The Americans followed soon after. The pig remained dead. My take?
They didn't bring it back?
This is my favorite war because everyone involved took it deadly serious, and that somehow makes it even funnier. Imagine loading cannons, deploying warships, and preparing artillery batteries because a pig discovered tubers. Also, shout out to the British admiral who looked around and said, "Absolutely not. I am not explaining this to history." And let's be honest, this is the most American origin story possible. A man shot something on his property, refused to pay for it, and escalated the situation until international arbitration was required. The pig war proves two things. Borders are complicated, and pigs are chaos agents.
And this is 100% why Wyoming is a fence-out state.
Exactly. So is the pig war the most polite near war in history or just the drunkest?
The drunkest.
Probably the drunkest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So should the pig be considered the only casualty or the true instigator?
Oh, that pig.
That
instigated.
Damn
it, Wilbur.
I mean, could you imagine if this would have went to a full-scale war over this? It wouldn't surprise me.
No, not it. Would surprise me even less now.
What modern international disputes would be way funnier if we named them honestly?
Oh, man.
I got nothing on that.
I don't have anything either.
Well,
Not offhand.
should
No.
we move on to weird shit number 3?
Yes.
4. Is it 4?
4.
3.
It says 4. It's clearly a 4.
I guess so. The body in the Billings Reservoir. In 1988, a child exploring the woods near Brazil's Billings Reservoir discovered a mutilated body so surgically precise that it defied easy explanation. Years later, a leaked autopsy reignited public horror, revealing injuries that sparked theories ranging from ritual homicide to extraterrestrial involvement. The case remains unsolved and deeply unsettling. On September 29, 1988, a young boy wandered along the wooded edges of Billings Reservoir, a vast body of water on the outskirts of Sao Paulo, drawn by a cluster of vultures. He approached and chased them away, only to uncover a horrifically mutilated human corpse. Terrified, he ran to alert nearby residents who contacted police. Officers from the Santa Amaro Police Department arrived quickly and realized this was no ordinary death. Investigators secured the scene, but after the initial response, the case quietly faded from public attention until 6 years later, when the coroner's report and photographs were anonymously leaked to the press. The autopsy was shocking. The victim, a 53-year-old man who'd gone missing 3 days earlier, had suffered extensive, precise mutilations. Eyes gouged out, eyelids and tongue removed, left ear, lips, and portions of the jaw and neck missing. Uniform circular holes, approximately 1.5 inches in diameter, punctured the body in symmetrical alignment. Multiple internal organs missing, including liver, kidneys, stomach, intestines, and pancreas, apparently extracted through the small openings. Stranger still, examiners noted minimal bleeding, no signs of a struggle, and cuts that appeared surgical in nature. Toxology revealed no anesthesia or paralytics, suggesting the victim may have been conscious. The cause of death was listed as cardiorespiratory arrest due to extreme pain. Authorities initially floated a natural death explanation, citing the victim's epilepsy and alcoholism, but the findings didn't support it. The injuries were too deliberate, the timeline too tight, and reports that police misstated the location of the body only intensified suspicion. Public theories exploded. Natural causes complicated by seizure, unlikely given the injuries. Calculated homicide, possibly involving a highly skilled sadistic surgeon, terrifying but unproven. Extraterrestrial involvement, due to the similarities with infamous cattle mutilation cases, compelling to some, unsupported by evidence. With no arrests and no definitive explanation, the case remains one of Brazil's most disturbing mysteries. My take? This case is nightmare fuel because nothing about it makes sense, and the parts that do make sense are worse. If this was natural, then nature learned surgery. If this was murder, then someone operated with terrifying precision and vanished. And if it was a cover-up, then the truth is buried as deeply as the organs were missing. What gets me is the clinical nature of it all. No chaos, no mess, just method. That's not panic, that's intent. And intent without accountability is what makes a mystery rot. You don't have to believe in aliens to be disturbed by this. Human explanations are far scary enough. So, how does a body show signs of surgical precision without tools, witnesses, or suspects?
That's the $1,000,000 question of life. Or at least podcasts like ours.
This one's weird.
No.
This is freaking weird. I don't know. Why would authorities downplay or misreport details in a case this extreme?
See, I don't like that. I don't know.
I don't either, but it happens all the time. I don't know if they don't panic or I don't know what their main motivation is to it, but
you're probably onto it with panic, but
yeah.
Still. There's a healthy degree of panic that people need when something like that's going on.
Right?
Yeah.
So is the scariest answer the exotic one or the possibility that a human did this and got away with it?
That a human did it and got away with it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But the exotic one is pretty freaking scary, too.
I mean, no, you're not wrong.
All right, well, I got to apologize in advance for the next story, but it's weird, and so it's weird. Weird shit number 5, the Overton Bridge, where dogs jump to their death.
Aww.
I knew that was coming, see? For more than 70 years,
oh man,
a quiet stone bridge in Scotland has been linked to an unsettling pattern. Dogs suddenly leaping over the side, often without warning. While folklore blames ghosts and dark forces, scientists argue the cause is far more earthly, if no less disturbing. Overton Bridge sits near the village of Dumbarton, northwest of Glasgow, within the historic Overton estate, built in the late 1800s by the White family. The bridge spans a wooded ravine, rising roughly 15 meters or 50 feet above the forest floor. For decades, it was simply a scenic crossing. Then, in the 1950s, something changed. Locals began noticing dogs, often healthy, well-trained pets, suddenly jumping from the bridge. Not slipping, not falling, jumping. Over the decades, around 50 dogs are believed to have died. Roughly 600 more have jumped and survived.
Jeez.
Many dogs that survived were reportedly traumatized, suffering broken limbs or long-term behavioral changes. Owners described eerily similar behavior just before the jump. Dogs would stop abruptly, appear fixated on something unseen, grow agitated or unnervingly calm, and then sprint towards the edge as if they were chasing something irresistible. The bridge's dark reputation deepened in 1994 when Kevin Moy, suffering from paranoid schizophrenia, threw his infant son from the bridge, believing the child to be the Antichrist. The child, thank God, survived, but the incident permanently fused human tragedy with the bridge's already ominous legacy. Paranormal explanations came first. Locals spoke of a ghostly white lady, possibly linked to Lady Overton, said to lure dogs over the bridge. Others reported feelings of dread or unease while crossing the bridge. More speculative theories included submarine sonar frequencies affecting dogs' brains, been debunked. Demonic possession, unhelpful but popular. Then animal behaviorists stepped in. Canine expert David Sands proposed a more grounded explanation. Minks. Minks began breeding heavily in the area around 1950, matching the timeline of the incidents. The animals emit a powerful skunk-like odor, particularly from urine. Dogs, especially those with longer snouts, are intensely attracted to this scent. Sands' theory suggests dogs smell minks below the bridge. Dense vegetation obscures the ravine's depth. From a dog's lower vantage point, the greenery appears like solid ground. The dog bolts towards the scent, unaware of the drop. Tests showed dogs consistently preferred mink scent over squirrels or mice. No spirits, no mind control, just instinct, illusion, and bad timing. My take? This is one of those stories where the rational explanation somehow doesn't make it any less creepy.
Right?
Because even if it's minks and optical illusions, that still means dozens of dogs sensed something so compelling they ignored everything else, their owners, training, and survival instincts, and launched themselves into open air. Also, if your explanation requires the phrase overwhelming mink urine, congratulations, you've made science unsettling again. I'm not saying Overton Bridge is haunted. I am saying it's a place where instinct goes rogue, and when animals act strangely, it hits a different nerve than ghost stories ever could.
I greatly dislike this bridge, and it needs to go.
I knew you would.
Yeah.
So would knowing about the mink theory make you feel safer walking your dog there?
Nope.
Or worse?
Not taking my dog anywhere near it.
I have a hard time with the mink theory, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, the guy's like a dog expert and all, but I've been around dogs my whole life. I imagine most people have, but I've never seen a dog go suicidal. Like,
yeah,
dogs have this innate, not just dogs, animals. Horses are the same way. I've been horseback many times where the horse was like, nope, nope. And you're like pissed off and you're like, damn it. And then you realize, oh shit.
The horse was saving
If he'd have jumped, we'd have died or what. I mean, that has happened to me so many times.
And they won't fully put their feet down on something that's not stable.
Yeah. And dogs are the same way. It's like, they know. They don't just rely on their sight. They know, like, if I jump over this, I'm going to fall to my death.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a hard time with the mink theory on this one. If it was people, I'd be like, oh, yeah, people are idiots. Nothing would surprise me with people.
It shall be burned.
But with dogs?
But the dude throwing the baby? Come on. I
think that's just a whack job.
Yeah.
It's freaking a whack job.
But I still don't like the bridge. The bridge needs to not exist yesterday.
So why do animal mysteries feel more disturbing than human ones?
Because I feel like humans have more free will.
For me, it comes down to what I just said. Like, animals have this innate sense.
Yeah.
Call it a sixth sense, call it whatever you want to. Animals are different. We've talked about it time and time again.
Yeah.
If your dog doesn't like somebody, don't like them because your dog knows.
Your dog is telling you.
Horses, like I said, horses are the same way. I imagine other animals are too. I've just been around horses and dogs more than any other animals, but they're the same way. Like a horse can read a person immediately and they know. Dogs are the same way. They have this sense about them, which if that is overruled somehow it's just creepier.
Yeah. Yeah.
If a place repeatedly overrides instinct, does it make it dangerous or just misunderstood?
Dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, you got to wonder about anybody after, I don't know, the first 50 or 60, because they said that 600 had jumped off this thing. Why don't you put a leash on your dog when you take them across the bridge?
Well, because then it would hang itself, but...
Not if you didn't let it jump.
True, that's true.
That's what the leash is for.
That's true.
You don't let it get to the edge. I don't know, man. I had a hard time with that one.
I don't like it. It needs to disappear.
Yeah, it's a freaking weird one, that is for sure. But that's it. That's all I put together for us on this episode. So,
all right.
Do you have anything?
I do not.
All right, well, I want to remind our listeners to check out the Dark Dialogue Collective, the Dark Dialogue Adopt a Victim program. Information on both of those can be found at darkdialogue.com. Also, where we read and share victim stories can be found in the victim blogs at darkdialogue.com. And support the show. You can find us on patreon.com/darkdialoguepod, coffee.com, that's ko-fi.com/darkdialogue. And you can find us on Substack at darkdialoguecrime.substack.com. Contact us with case suggestions, kudos, weird shit you want to see on the shadow chat sessions, whatever the case may be. That email is info@darkdialogue.com. Check out all our other shows. Dark Dialogue main show, Rocky Mountain Reckoning, Distilled, Unraveled Truths, all the fun stuff.
Gallows and gunfights,
everything can be found at Dark Dialogue Podcast Network. And be sure to like, share, subscribe, review. You can find us on social media. We're on Facebook and TikTok and all the things. And that's everything I got. You got anything else?
As Bill and Ted once said, be excellent to each other.
All right, everybody. Have a great night.